I have a pretty bad tendency of being a workaholic. So whenever I get a job or a gig that I'm really invested in, that I actually kind of enjoy, it's normal for me to neglect myself in a way. I would be working for more hours than I'm getting paid for. Sometimes I even tend to skip meals just so I don't ruin my momentum. So, yeah, that's a really big challenge that I experience.
Ano siya nagwe-weigh siya sa dito ako kikita ng pera plus dito ako magkakaroon ng mataas na grade. So, ganun palagi yung binabalance ko sa personal life tsaka sa work. Ayun, kasi kunwari, may rush, tapos at the same time may class ka tomorrow morning, ganyan. Rush yun, so mas mahal yun. Winaway ko palagi kung ano bang mas uunahin ko. Itong pera to, or pwedeng mamaya na lang to, recorded naman yung Zoom meeting. Especially during this online class. So, ayun yung struggles ko.
Ayan, nung nag-start na kasi ako mag-full-time job, mahirap nang tumanggap ng mga random clients eh. So, kailangan i-balance mo ng maigi yung oras mo. Kumbaga, time management lang naman yan eh. Ngayon kasi na-adjust na eh. Nung nagsimula yung pandemic. At saka pinag-work from home ulit kami ngayon eh. So, ang pasok namin is 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Mga ganun. Buong oras na yun, nagko-focus lang talaga ako sa full-time job ko. Kasi syempre may mga tinanggap pa rin ako mga freelance. Kailangan ko pa rin sila sagutin pag may tinatanong sila sa akin or humihingi sila na updates. Kumbaga, in touch pa rin kami, miski na nag-work ako na full-time. Pero sinasabi ko rin naman sa kanila may full-time job ako na nag-work ako ng ganitong oras, tapos babalikan na lang kita if ever after or ganyan. Sina-update ko sa mga projects namin.
It is difficult. No matter who you ask, it is hard. I will have to emphasize though, even though the world, as of this recording, currently work at home, as a freelance illustrator, it is what I'm used to even before all this, and I've been at it for 14 years. Be that as it may, challenges lie in keeping a very strict schedule and reducing temptations or interruptions to a minimum. So, especially when we're surrounded with electronics and many other distractions. This goes double for those freelancers who use the digital medium. The temptation to even just see an icon of a game on your desktop, an app on your phone, or have something like a notification from a social media site, it's hard. I have managed to rein those impulses because work is work.
To manage my time effectively, I need to set fixed hours of work in a day or say in a week. Normally, if you would do 8 hours a day, that's already pretty long. So I always have to avoid going over that, especially if I'm not getting paid the extra hours, because first of all, you're not paid. Second, it's really unhealthy for you to be working past those hours. So honestly, a really good time frame to work, if you have a lot of stuff to do in a week, maybe 4 to 6 hours. That's already a lot. That's gonna take you a long way.
Sa totoo lang, nangapa ako sa first few months ng quarantine since nung nag-shift ng online class, ganyan. Plus, yung work kasi natin, work ko is online din nakadepende. Nakatulong sa akin yung Notion talaga. Nung na-discover ko yung Notion app. So, pwede mong ma-schedule yung time mo kung kailan mo kailangan tapusin yung ganito, kahit piece by piece, ganyan. Naka-schedule doon, tapos manonotify mo rin naman sa phone mo or something. So, ayan.
Mas maganda pag mag-focus ka dun sa isang project muna. Kasi mahirap may mga tao na nakakapag-design sila ng sabay-sabay. Pero kasi ako, mas nakakapag-design ako na maayos or nakakapag-focus ako ng isa lang yung ginagawa ko. Yun lang. Siguro, mas maganda na mag-focus ka dun sa isang project. Bigay mo lahat ng best mo dun sa project na yun. Tapos, after nun, next naman, and so on.
Well, for one, meron akong mga post-it notes everywhere. On my monitor here, there's one right here before I take a take a seat on my workstation. I have one here that says, time is food. It's just a modification to an old adage na time is money. Because this one hits harder. Because it feels a little bit more real. So the sense of urgency is there. Just by looking at that when I take a break, it tells me, oh God, I need to keep on working because it reminds you of that. I don't have notifications that say you gotta keep working or like that. Kasi it's already a given. At the same time, writing on a piece of paper instead of putting out a timetable on your phone or electronic device cuts in being tempted to look at Facebook or play a game. A good tip, always have a piece of paper and pencil nearby because you'll never know you'll need it. So other than that, above all else, stick with a schedule. For me, I break down my hours by chunks. Some people would have like 9 to 5, and between in that entire thing, they would try to find a way to manage it. That's how offices work. I'm a freelancer. So I get to manage my time. However, to manage it correctly is a skill. So when I break down my hours into, as I said, chunks, I ensure that I have a goal tied to it. So I write it down. I keep in my head, I create a mindset that I should meet these goals by, say, after 2 hours, after 4 hours, or by the end of the day. And I tend to give myself some leeway because people who tend to stay on a strict time schedule when it comes to working, you would not leave any space for when something goes horribly wrong. Usually, some of these chunks you would expect to, after, say, a certain amount of work, you'll need to get back to your client and you will never know kung anong oras or kailan sila sasagot. So the moment that you set a goal, time period or a chunk goal, you would say, just in case something happened, say the client is suddenly asleep, then you can push that down the list. Then whatever's down the list, you can bring it up.
Maging conscious ka muna sa actions mo at kung paano mo na ma-manage yung time mo for the whole day. Kasi ikaw rin naman yung makakaisip kung paano mo siya ma-divide o ma-manage. Once na naging conscious ka sa ginagawa mo or kung saan ka na-distract. Piling ko doon magsa-start yun.
Stay focused dun sa ginagawa mo. Mahirap pagsabayin yung sobrang daming ang ginagawa. Ayun, stay focused lang sa isang project muna. Pero kung kaya niyo naman na siguro mga dalawang project sa isang upuan.
Rest isn't really something that you only deserve when you're productive. So it's not about, oh, okay, I did this amount of work in a week, then I deserve rest. No, it's not like that. You can and you should definitely take a rest if you feel that, you don't have enough energy to work. But you also should have enough discipline to get back on your feet when your work calls for you.
Learn to take breaks. I swear on my life, it will save you time and money. Also, hydrating during that time. There are things these days called RSI or repeated stress injuries. Yan ang tinatawag nating carpal tunnel syndrome, cramps. Formed scoliosis is a RSI, meaning yung posture while you're sitting, it will affect your spine because you're sitting all day. At the same time, puso mo. Because you're just sitting all day, your blood pressure is just low, it's gonna affect you in the near future. So taking breaks, very important.